Hello, everyone. It is Teresa from Teresa's Powerful Art. I love sharing art from my heart and a few Halloween projects. Welcome to day 2 of 31 days of Halloween. So I've put in the list up there where in the description or in the chat list where you can get the supply list and the tracer, okay? Or you can it's only a few colors, and you can draw a pumpkin, totally up to you. I'm going to grab my stylus. I have my graphite paper, and I'm using an 8x8 canvas today. So let me turn you guys around. Then I'm going to move my mouse out the way, and we will get started. Hello, everyone. So I have an 8x8 canvas. I have some graphite paper, and I have my pumpkin tracer. I'm going to line this guy up kind of in the middle. I don't actually even know if I'm going to do 3 jack-o'-lanterns. I know I'm going to do at least one in the middle and then the 2 pumpkins on the side, but we shall see. All right. So I'm taping it down. I'm going to take my very well-worn piece of graphite paper and I'm going to slip it in here on the bottom. Okay. And then I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to trace in my pumpkins and my stems. You can do the segments of the pumpkins if you want. I think I'm going to do this one big one, only so I know where in the middle I'm going to put my jack-o'-lantern face. And I don't know that I'm going to put jack-o'-lantern faces on the outside. So I might just do the outsides of those pumpkins. Let's see what we have here. I'm going to do this line down here, this line down here. Oh, and I'm also going to come in here. I might as well trace in my jack-o'-lantern face. This is your art. If you want to put a partial jack-o'-lantern face, if you want to just do 2 pumpkins and move this over, totally up to you. But I like that, and I'm going to get rid of that. Okay. I'm going to put out a little bit of black paint, and we're going to get started because the background of this is black. Here's the supply list. It does print in color, but you can print it in black and white to save ink if you want. Totally up to you. Move out my paints and move in. Here we go. Actually, it's kind of nice to be working on such a small surface. Lots of room going on. You can see everything. You can see my surface. You can see my paints. All good here. Oh, and I left my, that's okay. I have plenty of brushes. Oops. Okay. So I have out like a medium flat brush. And I'm just going to start painting in underneath my pumpkins and around the design. If you wanted to, you could paint your whole canvas black to begin with. That's up to you. You can buy black canvas. I don't know if they come in an 8x8, but I know they definitely have black canvas. Or you don't even have to do your outline, your background black. Up to you. You can pick a different color. I'm easy like that. Ooh. I think I'm going to go around with black around the whole thing. Sometimes where I have my pumpkin or my elements on the front of my canvas, I will usually paint that color on the side of the canvas. But I'm going to show you, we're doing something a little bit fun with this border. So I'm going to show you why I'm not going to paint part of the sides orange. I'm going to just leave them all black. Okay. What do we, 5 minutes in, I have paint on my hands. So if you're catching me on the replay, if you could put hashtag replay in the comments, I would appreciate that. And I'm just going around whatever brush you need to do this with to get it done. That's the brush you're going to do it with. If it's a smaller one, the only problem with having a smaller brush on a larger canvas is brush strokes. But if you really need to have a smaller canvas, and that's going to help you feel confident, a smaller brush, that's going to help you feel confident in your painting, then go right ahead and use a smaller brush. Whatever you want to do, whatever helps you have success with your creativity. All right, and then I'm just going to do this last edge here. Right along the edge, and then fill it in. See, I'm trying not to get too much on the front. Black is very hard to cover. Not that you couldn't, it's just hard. Okay, so I have my background all painted in. If you want the supply list or the tracer for this project, I posted the link in the comments, or it is in the description, the YouTube description. Okay, and I'm gonna wash my brush. Give it a nice dry. I'm using this palette over again, but I do need some extra colors. There are colors on here we're not going to be using. And then there's colors on here that we are using. So I'm going to get some of those out. So I need some orange and a bright yellow. So I'm using my yellow puddle, but yesterday I was using saffron yellow. Today I'm using this bright yellow. Look at the difference. And they're both yellow. Okay, I cleaned out my brush. I might switch to a smaller brush. Maybe this one. Okay. I'm going to double load my brush with some orange and some yellow. That basically means I'm putting one corner of my brush in the orange, one corner of my brush in the yellow, and then I'm making this little runway here. I'm putting a little bit of pressure on my brush. I want the fibers to flare out, and I want to get paint up in my bristles. Okay. And now I'm just going to go to my surface. I'm painting these C strokes. I'm going to paint one pumpkin at a time. It's okay if you pick up a little black. It's just going to give you shading and the segments of your pumpkin. I want these strokes on this side to go this way. And then I'm going to have this one on this side, which is coming off the edge here, go the opposite way. So I'm just giving a little bit of a curve out, and then I'm coming in here and I'm giving a little bit of curve this way. And I love having the multicolors there of the yellow and the orange. I'm going to grab my orange and my yellow. I'm going to come to this side. So now I'm doing this pumpkin the opposite way. We want our pumpkin segments to be curved. You see that? I have my brush flat and I'm doing it on a curve, like parentheses. Get a little bit of orange, and then I'm going to do this side. Okay, wipe it off a little bit because I picked up some black. I'm going to come back in here. You can, if you wanted to, paint all your pumpkins or do one pumpkin at a time. Paint your pumpkin orange and then come back and paint in some yellow highlights on it. Totally up to you. I don't know why that one keeps coming up. I have to change that. This is not the... 1 second. Grab the tracer and supply list here. There we go. I have a comment in there that's permanent. I don't know why, so I have to overrule that. Okay, now I'm going to get to our last pumpkin. Again, I'm going to pick up some yellow. I'm going to pick up some orange. And I'm just going to go right over the face. We can, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make this pumpkin be in front and those other ones in the back. So I'm coming in here and again, I picked up a little bit of the black paint there on the edge of my brush. I don't care because it's just making a little bit of shading in between. And now that you can see the whole pumpkin that I'm doing, I did the outside. Then I move my brush inward, pick up some yellow and orange, and then I move my brush inward. So I basically, for this one and the size of my brush, I did 3. Then we move over here to the left, and I'm doing the outside. Then I'm going to do the one a little bit further in, and then I'm going to do the middle. And if you have some space, just use your brush and cover it up. Okay. Making sure I get all the white out. Okay. And there we have in our 3 pumpkins to start with. And I'm going to wash my brush. I'm going to put out a little bit of brown for our stems. Not too much, just a little. I'm going to load my brush with this brown paint. It's actually burnt umber. I'm going to pick up a little bit of white on the one corner. And I'm going to do my stems. I'm just going to lay my brush out. I'm going to pull down into the top of the pumpkin. Pick up some brown, pick up some white. I'm using the width of the brush, and I'm just making these simple strokes, flat strokes, pulling down into the top of the pumpkin. Pick up some brown, pick up some white, and do the same thing here. Okay? And I'm going to wash my brush again. I told you, this is a fairly simple one. If you want, you could use any pumpkin. You can do 1 pumpkin, 2 pumpkins, 3 pumpkins. You can make them all jack-o'-lanterns. Totally up to you. I'm going to get a smaller brush again. Do I have a small round? I left my other brushes inside because I cleaned them, and then I didn't go grab them and come in here with my favorite brushes. So now I'm just looking for brushes. No, I'm not going to use that one. That is why. Okay, so I can see my jack-o'-lantern through my orange in there, my 2 triangles, my nose, and my mouth. I want to get a little bit of orange here and just cover that black up a little bit. That's all. Okay, I'm going to go into my black with this little tiny flat brush. Take off my glasses for this. And I'm going to start doing in my jack-o'-lantern face. You can have your orange be dry at this point. It doesn't really matter. It's black, so it's okay. The bottom of my jack-o'-lantern eyes have a little bit of a curve to them. But if you wanted to make them straight, you can. Totally up to you. Is my head in the way? No. And I'm just base coating in our jack-o'-lantern. Getting some black. And then I'm going to use the chisel edge on this brush. And I'm just going to start marking out how the jack-o'-lantern mouth goes. Okay? I'm using the brush on the chisel edge to draw with. And then I was just using it and pressing down to fill in where the teeth go. And now I'm just going to fill in with black. And there we go. So far, not too bad, huh? Not too bad, not too complicated, not too detailed. Okay, I'm going to wash my brush. I'm going to get my liner brush. I'm going to use this little one because this is the one I have right now. I need to wet it a little bit because when you use your liner brush, you want it to move really, really loosely. You want it to be a little bit thinner. You want your liner brush paint to be kind of inky. When you hold your brush like this upright, you don't want the paint to drip off, but you do want it a little bit thinner than it would be if you had it on a paintbrush and you were trying to fill in a certain area. Okay, so I'm going to go in, I'm going to add a highlight to each side of my eyes. And then I'm going to take the back of my brush and I'm going to put a dot in the opposite side of each corner. Okay, opposite from my line, but in the same place. Then I'm going to get my liner brush again. And I'm going to put a little highlight in here for the nose. And then a couple for the mouth. Okay. I'll put my liner brush in the water. Now, before which brush should I use? I'm going to go back to the middle flat brush that I was using. And I'm going to start in the middle with some orange paint. So I'm going to load up the orange on my brush. I'm just going to put a little stroke marker of orange there. And then I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to go back and forth. So I'm going to do orange, yellow, orange, yellow. And I'm only wiping off my brush. I'm not even going and putting it in water. Orange, yellow, orange, and yellow. Now you can see I did not measure. I eyeballed it, started where I wanted to. Now since I have the yellow there, now I'm going to go with orange here, and then yellow, then orange, yellow, and I'm going to do this around orange, the whole frame of the pumpkin. You'll be able to see it a little bit on the pumpkin because the orange is the total color as opposed to the pumpkin, where it was a little bit washed out because we used the yellow and the orange together. Okay. And I'm just going to keep working my way around. I'm going to go back to the middle for this one. Up here, orange. Let me get out a little bit more orange. And do yellow on either side. And then some more orange. And then some more yellow. And some more orange. And some more yellow. And you can do this all the way around the sides, or you can just do it on the front. Like I can go around the whole side if I wanted to, or I can just leave it on the front like I'm doing now. And then we got some yellow, orange, yellow. And if you want this darker, you can make it darker. If you want to add some white, you can make some white. If you want to use two brushes and not go back and forth like I am, you can too. Totally up to you. Doesn't that just make like such a fun trim around the outside, just like that? Okay, and I'm going to wash my brush. Okay. I'm going to go back to my liner brush and the brown. I'm going to roll it in the brown. I'm going to come up and I'm going to add these segments back into my pumpkin. Now you may have the lines for them. I only did the segments for the jack-o'-lantern one. I didn't put them in for the side pumpkins. And then I'm going to put a little bit line here too, making a little bit of a shadow because our big pumpkin is in the front. So I'm just coming in here and going around the outside of our big main pumpkin. If you wanted to add in a few lines in here, you can. Up to you. Again, I think that's good. If your lines get too thick, you can go back in. I can pick up some white and tone them down a little bit. Or I can come back in with some orange and go back over it with orange. It is paint. It is acrylic paint. You can fix anything. So I just add a little bit of highlight over my segments. Okay, and I'm going to wash my brush. I'm just going to get out a little bit of some, let's see. I like the lime green. I like the way that how the lime green looks with I like the way the lime green looks with the orange and the pumpkin colors for Halloween. So I'm getting out these two greens. It's citrus green and lime green. Again, I'm going to put one corner in the lime, one corner in the citrus. I'm going to rub my brush in between, make a nice little runway here. And I'm just going to add a few leaves to the top of our pumpkin here. I'm holding my brush on the flat edge, and then I'm coming down and giving it a curve. We most gave him like a little bit of some bangs. Ooh, we can keep going too. I'm going to go around the whole thing. Put another one up in here, and then another one down in here. Okay. Then if you want, while you're doing this, we can come down here and we can add some at the bottom. They're leaves, or it's almost like our pumpkin is sitting in a little bit of grass. I don't want to cover up my really cool jack-o'-lantern face, so you want to make sure that these are short enough down here. And I'm just picking up both greens. I'm using my brush on the flat. And then as I come up, I'm just giving it a little twist. So we give a little bit of point. And I'm going to wash my brush. I'm going to go back to my little small brush. Let me get out a little bit of fresh white. So for this painting, I used about a 1/2 inch flat and about a 1/4 inch flat and a liner brush. These two brushes. And I say 1/4 and flat and not the numbers on them because numbers on brushes are not universal like weights and measurements. So what is a 12 in one size brush is not necessarily a 12 in another size brush, or in another brand of brush rather. So I'm just putting up in here, I'm just going to add in some spooky eyes. Who knows what's lurking in the background, right? One set there, and then another set over here. I'm just painting in these ovals, and then we're going to add in a little bit of detail in black. Maybe one more peeking out up here. Okay, there we go. I'm going to take the back of my brush and some white, and some black, and I'm going to draw in with the back of my brush because it's easier to control the back of the brush than it is to control the bristles. And I'm just putting in some scary pupils down here in the bottom of these white segments. Okay. Wipe that off and clean my brush. Then I'm just going to take my smaller brush, my liner brush, and I'm going to use the back of that with the white, and I'm going to add white inside each of these. And there we go. There is our cute little jack-o'-lantern pumpkin for our day 2 of 31 days of Halloween. So here it is. Isn't that cute? So I hope you enjoyed painting this with me today. I will see you tomorrow at the same time, 2 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube or on the Facebook page. Have a great day, everyone.